So guys, this is a cool one. I came down here the other day and I wanted to hear it first because the homeowner, who's a pilot, actually had his parents meet me down here. He just bought this condo, moved in, and he's got a shower upstairs that when he turns it on, it makes this squealing noise. And it's funny because at first when they told me about it, they were like, look, it's when you turn the hot water on, and they thought it was actually coming from the water heater. Now, I looked at the water heater. The water heater's a relatively new Bradford White. It's a good water heater, no problems at all. And when I went up into the bathroom, which is where the homeowner's father went, he actually went in, turned on the shower valve, and said, you know, this is where we start hearing it at. And I turned on the tub, I turned on the lavatory faucets, couldn't do anything except make the tone of the noise change. So after I shut those off, I shut the shower off, then went to those and opened them, and I couldn't get it to make it anywhere else. So it's a Delta cartridge, and I've got one with me. It's the most common Delta that we use around here. I'm gonna go ahead and swap it out today and see if that takes care of it, and then we'll go from there. First thing we have to do right here is take the Allen set screw out. So we get the Allen wrench, get it down in there, and if you turn it to the right spot, you can look down in there and see what size it is. So we take the Allen set screw out so we can remove the handle. Once we remove the handle, we can slide the chrome cover off, and now that gives us access to the retainer nut. Now that retainer nut is actually what's holding the cartridge in. So if you have not turned the water off yet, make sure you do so now. If you take out this cartridge or you take out loose this nut while the water's still on, you're gonna have a ton of water flooding into that shower at a speed you don't want to deal with. Once you get this retainer nut loose, the cartridge will pop out. Now, it may not be easy. You may have to pry it out. You may have to take channel locks or a crescent wrench, something to get on it to help move it around to where you can pull it out. If they've got hard water, if the calcium and magnesium are built up really bad, you may fight this one out. This is a Delta 1400 series shower cartridge. Now, this is funny because I actually changed one of these out just last week. The problem with the one I changed out last week, the hard water in the house was horrible. The calcium, the magnesium, it was impossible. I literally had to use a pipe wrench to unloosen the nut to get the cartridge out. Now, if you reach inside the valve and it feels crusty, it feels rough, you might want to get some sandpaper, get it wet, and lightly sand the inside of it. All you're trying to do is take off the calcium and magnesium. You're not trying to sand the brass down, and you don't want to. You do not want to damage the inside of this valve at all. All you want to do is smooth it out to where you get rid of the calcium and magnesium. That way the new valve will work properly and not leak around it. After you get it all clean, take some heat-proof grease. Put it on the O-rings, that way it'll help seal those off. Now, at the end of the Delta cartridge, you've got the two probes that stick out that have O-rings around those. Now those literally slide into the valve itself, and I have in the past had to take a wire brush to clean the inside of that because of the hard water buildup. This is something you may want to look at. You may need to do it too. After you get the cartridge in place, make sure it slides all the way back up in there. And then you take the retainer nut and tighten it down. Make sure when you put that cartridge in, you look at the H. The hot goes on the left side. That is the purpose for it, and it's identified, so you put it in the right way, so when you turn the water on, it gets hot when it's supposed to and cold when it's supposed to. Now, I like to turn on the water now. That way I can check and make sure I don't have any leaks around the retainer nut. Once the water's on and I check that out, now I can put all the chrome trim back on and get everything snugged up. That way it looks good and it works good and we don't have any problems at all. So guys, as you see, this one was pretty easy to change out. The retainer nut came loose so easy. I didn't even need channel locks on this one. I kid you not, guys, the other day I had an 18-inch aluminum pipe wrench. It may have been a 24, and I still had to struggle. Every time I tried turning it, I could watch that valve act like it was trying to kick or pull loose or something like that. Guys, hard water's a pain, and dealing with it, make sure that when you are looking at a job, you probably want to look up at the shower head or look at the aerators and see, do they have a hard water problem? It might give you an opportunity here. Either recommend a water softener, a water treatment for an anti-scale or something like that. But understand too, it's liable to take you twice as long to change out this cartridge as it normally does, just because of the hard water. Guys, if you've changed out one of these before, even if it's not the Delta, which ones do you have the most problem with? I know that the Moen can also be a pain getting it out. Changing a shower cartridge is really easy to do, but guys, just like anything else, you can get in a bad situation and find one you're gonna have to fight with, and it can be a pain, and it can take you a lot of time to do it. So do me a favor, leave me a comment down below and let me know what cartridge is giving you the most problems. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you on the next video if you don't get flushed.